Alright, a further experiment with some dark paper. This one's a pre-folded black card. It's 5 by 7, so 10 by 7 unfolded like this. And we're going to treat this as kind of two scenes, but we have to approach it as one scene as well because of the viewing of it as a whole. Okay, now I think I'm just going to address one side of this card because I want it to go really fast. Okay, so we have, again, some bleed-proof white, something I'd always recommend for people to get. Calligraphers use it all the time. If you need some kind of white paint or just some kind of white, really cool medium, and you can use it in different ways. You can paint it onto things if you want to use something for snow, or if you want some highlights on something. It just works really fantastic. And I'm talking about the finest little dots of spray down there are really quite opaque. Now, if you got a tiny little dot of something like an acrylic sometime, it might not show up as much because it might be a little bit more translucent, but that's the thing about the bleed-proof white is it's I don't know, it's true opacity, even in the smallest of forms. Okay, so that was just spray splattering the surface right here. I think we're going to go for Ursa Major, the Big Dipper on this one. So let's see if I can just kind of freehand this constellation in here. I'm just kind of laying it out, just kind of getting the feel for it. Okay, I have to kind of figure out what I'm going to stamp down here. Well, I know what I'm going to stamp down here, but I'm just trying to get kind of the scale of it. Okay, a lot of people ask me about this. This is the Miaosun Sun white paint pen, acrylic paint pen, okay? All right, let me see here. All right, this is going to be a little bit off right here. For all of you kind of astronomers out there, give me a little, cut me some slack. I'm just kind of free handing this in here. I am referencing a photograph right now, but it's really tiny on my computer. All right, trying to get the gist of the dipper down. Okay, let's see. That goes right here, and we'll go over here. Okay, so it's these four right here, and then these two, and this, and then that right there points to M31, the North Star. I think it would have been a little bit farther over, but I'm dealing with this. I don't know. I could have started that a little bit higher, but close enough. All right, we're going to have some fun with those stars too, because this is what this kind of experiment is about. I really wanted to test out these little gems on as dark a paper as you can get. Now, I did a really faint spray here. Nothing too crazy there because I wanted those gems to really stand out there. The crystals, okay? So I didn't go for kind of too crazy of a spray here. Maybe I could, I don't know. There's a lot of trial and error here. Okay, now I tried some Brilliance ink pads on a non-porous metallic cardstock, and I really like the look of it. So I thought we would try this Brilliance on, a matte paper. It's not. I don't think this is even a matte cardstock. This pre-folded card. I do not think this is coated. I've probably used Brilliance impressions on just plain cardstock before. I don't know if I remember doing that or not, so I'm not quite sure what it's going to look like, and I don't know if I've done gold on it before, so what you're seeing right here is the first time, I believe, but I can't be sure. If I've done this before, it's probably been over, I don't know, 10, 15 years ago. I don't stamp on dark cardstocks too often. Okay, let's see. This is the Twisting Leaves, and I do plan on using, okay, let's see here. Let's go like this. Okay, I never know where I'm going to stamp these, so no, I didn't need to, color up the whole thing, but I didn't know where I was going to use it, so might as well color up more than you think you're going to need. It's just ink. If it goes over stamps in a little bit, then that's fine. I want this to kind of be a worm's eye view of this setting here, okay? Okay, so we still got the dipper in there. I want to frame that off a little bit with these. What will be darker leaves here. And then we'll try some white over the top of it. I think my gold is getting a little bit dry. I didn't clean off my stamp here before, so maybe I should have. I'm not sure if I have another gold pad. I don't even know why I have these gold pads. I don't really remember using them for much. Maybe it was just maybe I bought 2 of these before the make intakes that we used to do in the booths at the conventions for the stamp board. Yeah, that could be it. We had, I don't know, 4 people doing stamp board and 4 people probably doing die based inks on glossy cardstock. 2 different make and take stations. Back in the good old days. The mass crowds and, I don't know, stamping fun. All right, this gold, I don't know, it's looking pretty good. This pad's a little bit dry, so I think. So it's not giving me quite as good of an impression as, my preference here, but it's not too bad. This is going to hopefully look a little bit more kind of set back in the scene, because I want to stamp something else over the top of these ones with white ink, and I want to see how that shows up over the top of it with some of the moonlight white. Okay, I think this is running out of ink right in front of our eyes here. Okay, let me see. Now I do have another gold here. Let me see if this one's a little bit juicier. I can't tell. Boy, that looks super wet. Yeah, I don't know. This one, it's really super juicy, but I'm not sure. It looks like it's just applying a binder, no pigment. I don't know, maybe the 2 of them together will give me a better print here. Okay. I do like this dark on light, though. It's really quite fun. All right, let me try this one. God, you see how watery that looks there? It's kind of fisheye or a little bit broken up. All right, I'm going to try it down here. If it doesn't stamp out, I'll just we'll stamp something else out in front of it. Sure looks weird though. I don't know why it's so wet looking like that. But it's a different print there. It printed out just like it looked inked up, but look how much golder that is. Huh. Huh. It's not too bad, though. It's kind of like a little bit of a contrast there. Let me utilize that difference there, huh? I'll put another one right here. It'll kind of frame the constellation a little bit. Okay. Yeah, it's not too bad. It's kind of a little bit more kind of watercolory. Now, I mean, I could put another one up here. Let's try that. All right, so we're utilizing, I don't know, it's kind of it's not necessarily a strength, I would say, but you just kind of use it for, I don't know, for the benefits of it. You know, it could be seen as a weakness, you know, not having the consistency, but I don't know, I think that looks pretty good, having it a little bit of a different hue, maybe? They are the same pads, they're both Galaxy Gold. Okay, so let's see here. Trying to figure out which one of these I want to use. I could use both. This one's Curvy Branch. I want to add one of these in a white. Okay, let's go for some Brilliance Moonlight White. You can always emboss, you know, do another layer on top of this if you want to go for maybe ultimate depth and dimension. Having something actually raised, like something like this, might be interesting. But here's the thing that I found about the Brilliance yesterday. At least stamping it on that non-porous surface, it really stood out. It almost looked like an embossed image to me. All right, this one's real spindly. Okay, let's see. Let's see how this one goes. Let's see if I can get this to transfer over adequately, and hopefully, like yesterday, it will stand out with a reasonable degree of opacity. That's what we're going for right here. Okay, so I really don't know how long I have to kind of press on this. Maybe not long at all because of the matte aspect of it, and the transference of ink to surface could be very quick, but just to make sure I'm kind of holding it a little bit longer. Okay, looks pretty good in terms of my print. It's darker and a little bit more translucent, though, than yesterday's print because of that absorbency factor of the surface. Okay, it's just an uncoated matte paper. Okay, it's not even cardstock, like I said. Okay. Couple different impressions of this at the bottom so we can layer this a touch. All right. Trying to think, I don't think I want to have this coming in from the top. We'll have kind of a little bit more of a definitive top and bottom, so. All right. Now, I wanted to go for this one. Oh, let's see. Silently, one by one, in the infinite meadows of heaven blossomed the lovely stars, the forget-me-nots of the angels. I really like that quote. It's kind of long, though, so I don't use it too often. But I thought I would put that one here. It's on the back side of the card, but I usually don't do something like that. But I was thinking with the strong visuals of the crystals on the front there, that would be an adequate type of, or a prominent visual. Usually you want kind of the words. Words are very prominent. You know, it's something that text and copy are something that the eye goes to right away. You know, because people, you know, we see something written and we read it first, so it's kind of a really strong visual. But I figured if you have like sparkly little crystals in here, that will be adequate in terms of the balance of the piece. So, okay, so I left a little bit of space in here, and again, I'm just eyeballing it. Hopefully it doesn't come out too kind of crooked or lopsided. Sometimes I'm lucky and sometimes I'm not. I just kind of line up the bottom of this. I don't know. As much as I can. If you have a positioner, it'd probably be a little bit easier. You know, to take the time to do that. But I don't. Okay. And again, that's just in the brilliance. I think that came out pretty good. But I don't know, I think that looks pretty good. Doesn't it look like a book cover or something like that, you know? I always love copy, you know, text with visuals. I always think it's really fun and a really nice graphic statement. Okay, so we have some crystals here, and we have our glue here. I really need a better glue mechanism here, but I didn't anticipate that when I bought my crystals, so I don't know. You would think that I have some glue somewhere, but I only had this one, and it's not feeding through this little cap very easily. I kind of unclogged it the first day, and it worked fine. Then it was like that glue. I don't know. Maybe this glue is just so old, it just kind of clogged up on me again. So I'm just taking a little push pin here, and I'm adding a little drop of glue to each one of my little stars that were established for the Big Dipper. I think I just made a mess of that last little dot, but it's okay. Okay, let's see. It was these two right here. Got to keep track of your stars, your constellation stars. Okay, and one more. All right, now these little crystals, you know, were quite reasonable. I don't know how they are in terms of quality or anything like that. There might be ones that are much more sparkly and whatnot, but there's 2,000 of them in here, and those cost me $6. That's not too bad. Okay, let's see here. Now some of these stars are a little bit larger than others, so maybe I'll do this accordingly here. Maybe with the largest of ones, I'll go with a number 2. Okay, I don't know. This says like 1 through 12 here. Thank you for telling me what to do with these little pencils. I was thinking, what is that pencil doing in there? You know, it came with the kit. All right, let's see. I think this star right here is one of the larger ones. And then in the handle, it looks like the first one, yeah. Okay, so we got 2 crystals down. I mean, it's really fun adding in those types of things like that. It's nice having actual light in a scene. That's what I've always kind of wanted to do. I've thought about things like LED lights, you know, which I still might do in a scene, but this is, I don't know, this one's certainly kind of an easy type of alternative. And I'm just changing some of these little crystal sizes. I'm going down and adding in some smaller ones. It's a subtle little thing to do. I do want these to stand out too, but okay, there, and just kind of poking my finger in here, and the whatever, the little moisture on my finger is adequate enough to pick up the little. I think I didn't put some glue down on that one. Where'd my glue go? Here we go. Did I forget some glue on a couple, or did it already dry on me? Okay, let's see. Damn, this glue is so thick. I think that's the problem of it. I don't know. Is it not good to use like 15-year-old glue? Why not? Okay. All right, it's down there, I think. I just almost never glue things. I do kind of as simple a scene as possible. People don't believe me, though. But I don't know, these techniques and everything like that I do, they're pretty non-fussy. And I wouldn't call this fussy either, these little crystals. I mean, if I had a glue thing, I'd just go dot, 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 and that'd be really easy. Okay, so anyways, here we go with the card. We have this shimmery type of color. I wouldn't say that it looks, particularly gold. Maybe the newer one, see, if I was using a newer pad, you'd get much more of a shimmery texture like that. But see, here's the Big Dipper there. And let's make M31, the North Star, a little bit more prominent here. I don't want to make it too twinkly or anything like that, because I want most of the attention going to the the dipper here. So yeah, look at that. Look at that reflective little. Now see, those really stand out against this black paper too. All right, now here's what I'm looking at in terms of fine tuning. See this piece right over here, this gets a little bit boring, so let's add in a few extra stars into here, and let's change the scale of them, okay? Let's add a few bigger ones in, okay? And plus it really goes along with the quote having, some additional stars in here, okay? Okay, now when I move over here onto the front of the card, what I'm going to do is I might not go too large here, because I don't want to detract from the dipper, the constellation. Now, if you want to go extreme in terms of attention getting, you could do those things where you connect up those dots and show, the actual constellation kind of structure of it. But I don't think I want to do that, though. I think I want to leave it as that. The Big Dipper, I mean, it's fairly prominent. But here's what I like to do on my Curvy Branch here. You see those little black dots like that? Okay, now we've done it in reverse here. Okay, but this will go perfectly with this quote. See the forget-me-nots of the angels. Now these aren't forget-me-nots here, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a little bit of a kind of a highlighting dot on some of these little blossoms on that curvy branch, just to give it a little bit of an extra dimension, okay? You don't have to do it over every single one of them, okay? But I think it kind of makes for a stronger connection between that impression and the stars from a textural standpoint. From a value standpoint, it's equal to the stars. They're light as a star, too. So, and just like I said, from a dimensional standpoint, it just stands out a little bit more. See, like when I'm doing this over the front of the gold impressions of those twisting leaves, it tells me that, you know, the curvy branch is in front of the gold one. Doesn't it stand out more from a dimensional aspect? Well, you can see it here. You know, we'll compare and contrast this side with this side. I mean, doesn't that have a lot of depth? I mean, these are just two stamps. Not only that, they're just, you know, they're stamped out on black paper, but I think that really kind of gives it dimension. It stands out to me. Okay, maybe on this side, like the other side, I'll kind of hold back a little bit. Maybe I won't add as many of these little highlights right here, you know, so as not to detract from the stars. I just thought of something. Wouldn't it be cool to stamp these out like this and to add those little crystals on the tips of some of these in another scene? If I did that, I wouldn't do anything in the sky. I would just leave it all black. Because I think it would be too busy. But I think that would be really fantastic to put a bunch of those really tiny crystals, you know, maybe 15 of them on these this curvy branch, just up against a dark background, and put a quote up in the sky or something. Yeah. That's the thing about doing these videos. You kind of do one thing and it leads to several other ideas. Not that that's bad, but I don't know. I might need to explore that one. Okay, so anyways, here you go right here. There's our glistening little Big Dipper. I'm looking at it in the back of my camera screen here to see that. See, having those things like really stand out like that, it's really just, it just makes for a dynamic little surface, especially as flat as this is right here. I mean, those leaves are standing out like that, but having that little dipper kind of flash back that light at us is really fun. All right, so anyways, let's see. Let's take a look and see what this card would look like folded. Okay, this is reasonably dry, I think, but I'm still not going to push it here by pressing on it too hard. Okay. All right. Okay, so anyways, here's a really fun card here. Like I said, it's always those little crystals there. Isn't that fun? It's real twinkly. Okay. And then there's the front of the card. Wouldn't that be a fun card there with those little details like that? And then you have it in the back here. I think that kind of becomes the standout, but then you have that to read there as a quote. And then so people look at it like this, and then they usually look at it like this, and then they'll unfold it like this. So you can do something equally as kind of dynamic, or you can do it a little bit more subdued on the interior here, you know. Like I said, I don't think this one would be a bad, you know, like Christmas card or something like that. Really dark blue would be better, though, you know, in terms of a theme. But I don't know, just fun stuff. Look how those crystals really flash at us and twinkle. That's what I like. It's a little bit more interactive. You know, it's just not one way like that. You know, as soon as you start moving it around like that, it twinkles. Look at that. So crystals are fun. I'm going to add this to a lot of pre-stamped imagery because I think those would add a fun little, really super easy embellishment to do. Okay, so fun, easy card. You know, this is like 2 cards in one, you know, because we're doing front and back right here. 30 minutes, so I don't know, doing something like this, it's just really fun and easy to do. The Brilliance ink pads work really fantastic on it, especially if you're not using one that's, 15 years old that used to be used, for a, that went through 200 different make and takes with everyone, but not too bad for such old materials and whatnot, and just using it on some plain old dark paper like this. So really fun stuff. So anyways, I hope you enjoyed it. Please like, comment, subscribe if you like these videos, and thanks as always for tuning into the channel.